guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you what we loved and what we hated about the NCL Gem.
We just got off this ship a couple of days ago and we had an amazing time. There were some things that we loved about it. There were some things that we didn't like. Overall, it was one of our favorite cruises of the past year, I think. But the things they got wrong, they really got wrong. And so stay tuned for those things. But
yeah, that list is usually not longer than the things that we loved. So,
but it is on this one.
Yeah, we just had to really put these out there.
But overall, it was great. So let's start with what we loved. First thing we loved, and this is a big deal, the food was great. It was not cheap at all. A lot of cruise lines we've noticed, they're cutting back on the food quality and cutting back on the buffet quality, cutting back on the just everything. And that was not the case with NCL, which I was happy about because you are generally paying a little more for NCL right now.
Right.
And that money is not being cut out of the food budget. So that is something that we did love.
So that was the great thing about the food on the NCL Gem, is that they had lots of options. It didn't matter what time of the day you wanted to eat, you could eat. If you wanted to have something, you know, a quick snack or whatever at 2 o'clock, you could do that. You didn't have to wait until they opened up, you know, the buffet or whatever. There was always something available for you to eat.
Yeah, and if they had a special night, they didn't just limit good food to the main dining room. They would put really good food on the buffet. So.
Really, it's up to you to decide which night you want to make your special night, because they had food available all the time.
Another thing we loved about the NCL Gem is that the staff was amazing. It's a noticeable difference between that and other ships, other companies that we've been on recently. The staff there is just great. They're top notch, and it shows, and it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. It really changes your experience, how you are treated by the staff. And it's just little things that they go out of their way on doing. You hear them refer to people by their names. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where would you like to sit tonight? Or do you want the same table? And it wasn't just to us. They did that to lots of people. I could hear the staff saying that in different areas. Oh, great to see you again, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Did you have a good time off the ship today? It was really nice. Those little things really are those touches that make the experience really special on these ships.
Yeah. They have a walking track on deck 7, which we loved because we like to walk while we're on the ship some. And this was not like the one that they have a walking track on the upper level, but they also have one on 7 that goes the entire length of the ship. You can go all the way around the ship. There's no smoking area near it. There's no pool or anything. It's just to walk around. You really won't even be bothered by anybody just walking down there, and that is amazing. I wish more ships did that. That was one thing we loved.
Yeah, that was really nice to have that option, to have a bigger track to walk on, and the entire thing is covered, whereas the one up above was not. And the other thing is, there were people, there's two shuffleboard, what do you call those places down there to play, one on each side of the ship, and that's pretty much the only people you were running into, and not really, because you could very easily just walk right around them. But when you're walking on that upper track, not only is it smaller and part of it is out from under the covering, but there's really just so many people up there either just sunbathing or just walking around, so it makes it a lot harder for you to, you know, get up to a quick speed.
Yeah. Next thing we loved was the thermal suite. I'll let you talk about that because you really love it.
Yeah, so the NCL Gem really had a great space for the thermal suite. It had everything you wanted, really. It was really impressive. We actually weren't really sure we were going to get it because there wasn't much information on it. And I thought, this might not be good. We got in there, and they have this incredible pool and a hot tub. So they have like that middle area where it's for everybody, and then they have male and female locker rooms where they have the steam rooms and the saunas, and they have showers, and they have another hot tub in there. It's just a single person one, but I literally used it every single time I was in there and never had to wait once for it. So, you know, you've got spaces there and in the middle to share together. Absolutely gorgeous. We loved it. We used it every single day. The staff knew us. They saw us walking up. We were ready to go right in there.
Yeah, and it's open till 10 p.m., which is really amazing.
Which is really nice, yeah.
The gym was also big and really good.
Yeah.
We love that on a ship because it is hard to get enough movement. Some of these cruises on the gym are longer, 10 days, and you may want to use the gym. So having a great gym is good.
Yeah, you have a little bit more sea days. It's nice to be able to go to the gym and you know, get some weights in or some walking. There was always equipment open. They had probably 15 treadmills, and I don't think I was ever in there one time where more than 4 or 5 people at the most were on those treadmills. So it was really crazy. And even the weight equipment, never had to wait for that. Never had to wait for anything, which was really great.
Getting on and off the ship is very easy. They've got a good system worked out. You get off and on very quickly. We really appreciate that because there's nothing worse than being out in the hot sun for 4 hours, coming back and waiting for a half hour to get back on the ship. So that was something we loved.
Yeah, that was really good because, like you said, you get back from an excursion and you're exhausted. All you want to do is go to your room, take a shower, and lay down in the bed for a little while. You could do that very easily, on and off, very quickly.
Next one we loved was your favorite place, Ocean's restaurant. Tell us why you love that.
Ocean's is amazing because it's open 24 hours a day, and they do serve breakfast there in the mornings, and then they switch to their regular menu then in the afternoon. But they did have a very, very unusual meal that they've added to their menu over the last couple of years, and that was the lechon asado, which is the pork with the rice and black beans and plantains. So good. They had a lot of really good options there. You can always pop in there and just grab like dessert if you wanted, or appetizers, whatever you wanted at any time, you could get in there, and it was so easy and so good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we loved. Now we're going to get into what we hated.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this is... they kind of all revolve around the same thing, although not totally. But, boy, they really want your money. That is the bottom line here. Yeah. Is that they want your money. It's unfortunate. And they will do whatever they can possible to get it from you. Let's start with the internet. That's a good place to start. Yeah. It is possibly the worst internet at sea that we've ever used. It's horrible. Like you can't even do anything on it. Yeah. If you're on the $30 a day package, that's $30 a day for one device. If you want the premium internet, which is still horrible, it's $40 a day. $40. So you're telling me I have to pay $400 for a 10-day cruise for horrible internet.
I honestly think just sending out a pigeon might be faster than the internet that they're offering you on the ship. It was so bad. This was awful.
Okay, so now the positive is, if you want to call it a positive, you are able to share the internet between more than one device if you're not on at the same time.
You can all share it in a super slow manner.
Yeah. So that was really off-putting. Because it was a long cruise. We did have to get some work done. You just can't get anything done. And it's so expensive for internet. Second thing is the tips are going to be the highest of any cruise line out there. $20 per person per day for your standard rooms. We were just in an inside room. So
yes, the suites were more. $5 more.
So $20 per person per day. So $40 per stateroom per day for tips. Now, the staff was amazing. I'm not saying that they don't deserve those tips. Right. But it is way higher than every other line. So keep that in mind. Yeah. When you see the price of this cruise, that is not the price of this cruise. Add $500 to $1,000 because that's just what they're going to get from you. Yeah. Yeah. The next one is that the hallways on the ship are very narrow.
We could you never saw anyone walking side by side down the hallway like this because you wouldn't fit. It's really just everyone was walking. Anytime you saw someone, it was single file, and it was even tougher to get through the hallways when the room attendants were cleaning rooms, and their carts were smaller than normal. They were small little carts that they were working off of, not the regular big ones. They had little carts, and even then, it made it really challenging getting up and down the hall when they were out there because they were so small.
Okay, so the entertainment was also below average. I will say the shows that they had in the theater, they were not great. And it was mostly just some singing, which is not our favorite. But and there was nothing.
The same comedian.
They had the same comedian
for 11 days.
For the entire show. Yeah. So it was like, that seems kind of cheap on their part. It was like a budget cutback or something, you know. But the entertainment budget has clearly been slashed.
Yeah.
So that was not great.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
The next thing is there's constant sales pitches on this ship. Almost all the time. No matter what you're doing, they're trying to sell you something. Whether it's, you know, to go buy. Win something,
whatever. Go listen to a speech for something or a presentation. Everything they used as an opportunity to try and sell you something, which that's fairly normal in the cruise industry, but it seemed exorbitant to us, the amount of times that they were cornering you to try to sell you something. It was really quite challenging to just be like, you were just really nickel and dime for every, everything was a presentation for something for you to buy.
And along with that, we just reviewed another ship, the Carnival Radiance, and they didn't start announcements till 11 a.m. Not the case on the NCL Gem. They're going to start doing announcements every morning, 9:30, 9:45, and every evening at 5:45. In fact, didn't even have to wear my watch, because at 5:45, I knew the cruise director would come on and make some announcements. It's time to go to dinner. He's making these announcements. But it's the same announcements every day, and the announcements are only about going down to buy jewelry, or to buy a portrait session, or to buy. It's
more
about
sales.
7 things of just sales.
They weren't informative or helpful. They were always, like, a lot of times you'll get announcements and they'll be about, oh, hey, we've got this and this and this tonight. We've got this entertainment and this, activity, and meet here for this movie, or go meet, other single travelers or whatever. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But if you're going to constantly be making announcements to try to get me to go somewhere, to try to sell me something, I'm going to get a little bit frustrated over time. Yeah. After like the second day, I was like, pretty much all the announcements are about the exact same thing. Go down, buy some jewelry, go down to this presentation so they can tell you about buying another cruise or whatever.
Yeah. And again, we go on a lot of cruises, so we're used to the normal level of sales pitch.
This was above that.
This is way above
way above.
Next thing that's really cheap that they're doing is if you buy a Coke from the bar, like, Sheehan's or something, they will just bring you a glass of ice, filled with ice with Coke in it. They won't bring you the actual can that you've paid for, which is, $4 and something. And they're actually using the Coke you're using one can to fill up 2 people's Coke orders. So you're actually buying a half a can of Coke for your $4.
Possibly flat.
Because we both
which I got one like that.
We both bought one one day. We both bought a Coke. We were not on the drink package. And what they did was there had been a can of Coke sitting there open for who knows how long, an hour maybe. They poured the rest of that one, the second half of that can, into her drink, opened a new one, poured that into mine. So they brought the 2 drinks. Mine was clearly fresh and had bubbles. Hers was completely flat. And so it was pretty obvious.
I asked for another one.
She asked for another one.
I mean, if you're paying $4, I would like for it to be fizzy. I don't even drink Coke that often. I just kind of felt like it that day because we were having a burger, and I thought, oh, I'd love to have a Coke with this burger. And it came, and it was completely flat. It was literally just like the syrup liquid and the water, and it was just sitting there in the huge cup of ice.
So you're paying for the can of Coke, though, so you can ask for the Coke. And in some places, they'll give it to you. At the bar, they'll give you the can of Coke. For the can,
yes.
Yeah, and so, but they also have the little fountain thing at the bar. They can spray it.
Yeah, the little fountain hose thing.
And so if you ask for the can, They will give you the can. My advice is ask for the can because they are pretty. So all this stuff was kind of like, it's just, you just got this really feeling on the ship that everything was about money and everything was about extracting money from you. And that's okay. If you know that going in, set your limits, know what you're going to do, and just know what you're going to spend. It's fine. It was not a problem for us. We knew what we were spending. We weren't surprised by anything. It is something that we really, it does leave a little bit of a bad taste. Overall, the cruise was way amazing and overcame that shortcoming, but it was a pretty bad shortcoming. And there was one more shortcoming, which I'll give you now, which was the television channels were just horrible. They do have a sports channel.
They did have a sports channel.
They did have a sports channel. Unfortunately, the sports channel showed tennis 24 hours a day. Like, that's all it would show. I saw, and if you're in like Ocean's bar, they just had tennis running continually.
There weren't any other. They were just replaying the tennis from earlier in the day. So if you watch tennis early in the morning, you're going to see that again later in the afternoon. And it's not that we don't like tennis. We just didn't want to watch tennis all day long. There were other great sports going on, which is what we wanted to see, like baseball opening day.
This was during the Final Four, college basketball.
Lots of great sports.
A lot of ships. Well, like we were on the MSC Seascape during the World Cup. They had the World Cup going on in all the bars and in your stateroom, because people do want to see that stuff. If it's a big event,
for sure.
You know, the Final Four was a big event. No, during the Final Four they were showing tennis, so I don't know what to say about that. But that was a lot of negatives, mostly revolving around money. I don't want you to think we didn't like this cruise.
No, we did love it.
Probably
the crazy part.
Probably our favorite cruise of the year. But just be forewarned when you go into this cruise. Make a plan for your money, because they will try.
It's going to be a shakedown.
It's going to be a shakedown.
So don't let the long list of negatives here make you think we didn't like it. Like you said, like Rob said, we did thoroughly enjoy this cruise. This is our fourth cruise of the year, and it was our favorite so far. So it didn't make us not like it. It just kind of, like you said, left a little bad taste in your mouth. We do have a cabin tour of our inside cabin on this cruise, as well as a ship tour, so make sure you check those out here on the channel.